Tansei. Hi hi. Kasemani do. Hi hi aski. Hi hi Muslims cookums. Hi hi Chikwanati. Hi hi to the sky people and the great star nations, all the way out to the 9 universes. Hi hi. I'm Ko Gwinje. I am on a ski in a human body. Hi, my name is Matthew Morningstar. The Wisefire in Gwich'in, that name sounds as Ko Gwinje. I have a Cree background in identity and language. And there are other languages that I'm focused on also helping other elders. And speaking of helping and giving from the Indigenous traditional knowledge, such as like sacrifice, I share more videos here with you. There's going to be more following this video. I call to you to help decommission the RCMP GRC, who are war criminals, who willfully participated in the Canadian genocide, cultural genocide, cultural imperialism, colonialism, and indoctrination processes. And to this day, they still participate in war crimes or covering up the crime, covering up the genocide. Now, I had mentioned in earlier videos, I was talking about what other people say, what other people have been through, what their stories, what they've shared, what they've documented. And the next person I want to look at, this has to do with in a book called Whose Land Is It Anyway? On page 15. The title is called Crown Title, A Legal Lie. And it's by a person whose last name is spelled Venne. No, wait a minute, Venne. And Sharon says here, the doctrine of discovery to assert authority and jurisdiction over our territories throughout Turtle Island. So the question is this: what authority? What jurisdiction? So this is an excellent example of another video that I have out there on my YouTube channel, and also you can find it at thewisefire.com or www.thewisefire.com, or I have lived with the experience that external authority is a fallacy. External authority is a lie. External authority is a deception operation, or external authority is a fallacy. It's a fictitious idea. And Sharon's idea here is a very useful citation just for that one area. And that is another product that will have a free version, have a paid version in that area to help people free themselves from authority, help them free themselves from social influence. Because authority is studied by social influence. Why is the doctrine of discovery used to assert authority? and jurisdiction. Now, you can look and read the Doctrine of Discovery. It's free online. You can find it. And you can see why. And you could also read page 15 of Whose Land Is It Anyway? You can see what Sharon had written there where it says Crown Title, a legal lie. So that would mean a legal lie. That would mean that Crown Title, those who tell the Indigenous people they have to have a claim to the land of proof of ownership, papers, that's stamped and certified and I believe notarized by an attorney. And by the way, I want to add too, this power of attorney that exists is actually an individual power. It's an individual right. You do not need a lawyer. Every form of tool and knowledge that a lawyer has, it doesn't matter if they're a professor all the way down to a paralegal, or the reality is that you as the individual can use and comprehend and benefit from those same tools. The assumption is that external authority is actually going to save us and help us and guide us and serve us and protect us. And in Sharon's context, that's a legal lie. That's a legal lie. So the people that are being protected, the people who think they have property, like for example in so-called Nova Scotia, so-called Canada, so-called Yukon, they don't. There's an assumption that we're being taught, because I had lived up in the Yukon for quite a while. The assumption is that the Indigenous people, the Yukon First Nation, the assumption is that all of them have settled or they have resolved all of these issues that they have. And the reality is they haven't. Okay, I was raised in the community of Whitehorse, Yukon. So I watched the idea of self-government grow in the Yukon. And from Russ Diabo's point of view, I had listened to what he said. He said, well, basically these Yukon First Nations that so-called settled, in my point of view, because there's the Kaska who haven't done what these other First Nations had done. Like, for example, if you use KDFN, Kwal Dun First Nation, if you look at what they have done. What they have done is they participated in creating a municipality. They've created a fourth level of government. If I want to, another word is this, they've created a municipality, which is basically, because in Canada there's 3 levels of government. So a municipality would just mean that they would be like the chief would be just like a mayor, and the council would just be like the council of that a mayor works together with in a city. So it means they have this one little area, and the Doctrine of Discovery was designed, as Sharon was saying, was to assert this authority, this so-called authority. Which really the authority that's being asserted is actually the end of a gun. The reason a person obeys, and the reason the ancestors, like in Gakio Nuakamagnak, I just had to say that, all my relations. So if I just look at myself and my history, the generations before me were forced by guns. Okay, whether the gun was physically pointed or it was psychologically pointed, the fact is that they were forced. Okay, so I'll just go on to the next person. Last name is Alfred, and it's from the same book, Whose Land Is It Anyway? He says, reconciliation is recolonization, because it is allowing the colonizer. So the colonizer, the colonizing is basically where, say, you have a person who is like a prime minister, or that's a good example, like a prime minister, and they send their officials, their delegates, their agents into, say, the United States. Say Justin Trudeau decided to colonize the United States. So they're going to take over Portland, or they're going to take over Washington. And so they send their agents over there. Their people, I was using the word agents, but the agent and people is the same thing. So they send their people over there to live, to settle, to set up and to force their laws. Okay, so would the U.S. President Biden stand for that of Justin Trudeau sending his people into Washington to take it over? Of course he wouldn't. Okay, so the Prime Minister in Canada and the Senate and the Privy Council and the Governor General and the members of Parliament, which some of these members of Parliament become like, I think they become like ministers, deputy ministers, and they take over certain laws, certain legislation. So you could have a heritage minister, you could have a public safety minister, you could have a, what other type of minister is there? Education minister. So there's all kinds of these different ministers, but they're all in the same boat. They're all on the same team, supposedly. And then they break down into the different political parties when you're in the parliamentary system. And of course, the Senate is not elected democratically by the citizens of Canada. And also, even the Prime Minister of Canada is not elected by the citizens of Canada. In the United States of America, they actually have a real democracy where they actually elect Biden. If it was Biden, it was Trump before. I think it was Obama before that. But the fact is those individuals over there in the United States actually created a real democracy. So in Canada, there's not a democracy. When people vote for the so-called democracy, they're actually voting for a political party. And what they're doing is they're voting. So basically, it's like the party who gets the most seats. From there, it leads up to this so-called authority that's telling us what the truth is. Now, if this authority was actually real, would they carry out genocide? Would they tolerate genocide? Would they tolerate? The question is this: they did. They did tolerate. They empowered it. They enriched genocide. And it was the RCMP GRC that was a part of this all. And the RCMP GRC were one of the main actors, one of the main agents that was carrying out genocide and war crimes. Okay, they were one of the main ones that's involved in all the different types of legislation. So, for example, if a person doesn't pay their taxes and say they keep refusing, eventually the RCMP can actually be called to arrest that person. So why are the RCMP involved with Revenue Canada? Why are the RCMP involved with resource extraction? Why are they involved with, they say they're involved with the criminal law because they're enforcement, but they're not. Enforcement is a cover story of the RCMP GRC. The RCMP GRC are a white supremacist organization. In the United States of America, they would call them white nationalists. And so the terms white nationalists and white supremacy have been redefined as a form of terrorism. Okay, so the War of Terrorism. So one of the key thoughts about terrorism back in the day, and I mean back in the day, like in the 80s or so, one of the thoughts was this: is we do not negotiate with terrorists. Okay, there's no negotiating with a terrorist. There's no negotiation with the white supremacist organization. And so, in this situation, where I'm suggesting is that okay, so the alternative and the solution I'm presenting is to decommission the RCMP GRC, to decentralize them, to take away all their assets, all their funding, take away their logo, their name, take away all the legislation and all that, and transfer it. And I tell you this, it has happened already. There are provinces that do not have the RCMP. They do have like some RCMP, but they're not. The province took over the enforcement, and some of those provinces and those enforcement agencies that over there, there's some other issues to deal with that too. Like for example, the OPP are involved with genocide too. The OPP participated in war crimes too. They also participated in the indoctrination process, and so this is another area. Okay, so I'll get back to the RCMP GRC. So why is Alfred saying recolonization is reconciliation? Why is he saying reconciliation is recolonization? Because the colonizer gets to hold on to their attitudes. They get to hold on to their mentality. And it does not challenge his behavior or her behavior or the people's behavior, whoever involved with this, towards the indigenous people. And he was saying towards our people and the land. This is a key part. Okay, I got to repeat what he said. He said reconciliation is recolonization because it is allowing the colonizer to hold on to his attitudes and mentality and does not challenge his behavior towards our people or the land. It is recolonization because it's telling indigenous children that the problem of history is fixed. And so it's a cover-up. All right. So in my view of what Alfred is saying here, and this is a key part, changing, they still get to hold on to their attitude and mentality and their behavior towards the land. So that means the resource extraction industry has not changed their attitude and mentality and behavior towards the land. Okay? They have not changed, the resource extraction industry has not changed their attitudes and mentality and behavior towards the people. Okay? All right, so another part here I just wanted to add. I just want to thank you for taking the time to listen. There's going to be more videos following this. And my name is Matthew Morningstar. The Wisefire, Code Gween J is how it sounds in or pronounced in Gwich'in. If you want to contact me, you can call me by phone, 902-774-0821. If you want to email me, thewisefire@gmail.com. thewisefire@gmail.com. Or you can go to www.thewisefire.com for more information. I also have an email subscriber list there you can sign up to if you want to. And share your comments. And as usual, take your time to think. Take care. Stay safe.